Ho! Today we'll be looking at Bloodsport, the classic Van Damme film where he got his first starring role. But first, so welcome back. As said, we're looking at Bloodsport, a seminal martial arts classic from 1988, directed by New Arnold and starring, for the very first time, Jean-Claude Van Damme, the muscles from Brussels. So this has been released by Cape Light Films. So this is it's a German company, and this is a digibook design. So there's a type A and a type B. I'll put up the other one as well, but I had to get this one because it just looks sick. Looking at this digibook, so you got a 4K version there with a nice picture of Jean-Claude, and then you've got the normal Blu-ray there, and you've got some notes on the inside by Lucas Barensk, Ein wahrer Mythos. So yeah, unfortunately this is all in German, but you know, it's going to be in German because it's from a German company. Hopefully this will get a UK release or an English release. Because for the money, you know, you'd want a few bits and bobs in there, really. But you know, it just looks really beautiful. It really does. I can't complain. Even with this fabricated medallion doohickey that I've got going on there. The special features. There's quite a decent amount of special features. An uppercut into the action movie A-list, blood rights, wham bam, thank you Van Damme, a sporting chance, tunes to tap out to, and you got commentary with Sheldon Littich, Paolo Torcia, who played Paco, and James Bennett. I was just talking to James the other day. Yeah, so yeah, I've gone through most of these, and they're all fairly done recently. So yeah, they're really good. Right, back to the film. Obviously, this is Van Damme's first big starring role, and I think he aces it. You know, he's got the screen charisma, he's got the body, he's got the moves. You know, what more can you say about it? You know, this film didn't get great reviews at the time it first came out, but it did something like $50 million worldwide when it first came out in the cinema, against a budget of I think about maybe about $2 or $3 million dollars to make. And so, you know, it's a great return. Filmed entirely in Hong Kong, with some of the Kowloon walled city as a backdrop. We also need to talk about Bolo Yeung as Chong Li. This guy is just an absolute unit. Every good hero film needs a bad guy, a good bad guy. Bolo Yeung is that bad guy. The guy is just like, if you had to face against him with his humongous pecs, you know, you'd be breaking it. You know, from breaking legs and snapping necks.
I break your friend.
You know, I grew up on this film. It was in 1988 it came out, and you know, it was how was I? Would have been 11. I'm pretty sure I didn't watch it when I was 11, but I would have been maybe 14, 15, maybe around that time when I first saw it. And yeah, I just thought it was wicked. You know, There's girls, there's guys beating each other up, you know. Even when I was a kid, I thought some of the fighters were a bit whack, but I don't know, man. It's like when you look at it now, okay, like I just reviewed Blades of the 47 Ronin, and you know they had some kind of whack fighting in that. But this is, I don't know, it's just got a certain charm, nostalgia that really does make a difference. And you know, I've probably watched this film, wow, at least a few hundred times, easily. You know, this and Kickboxer and AWOL are my three favorite Van Damme films. You know, they're just superb. You know, they've got great fight scenes. There's a decent story in there. All right, Bloodsport is, you know, a bit less so on the plot side, but you know, Kickboxer and AWOL, I think they're just great. And would they have been as good with someone other than Van Damme? I honestly don't think so. He brings a certain je ne sais quoi, shall we say, to the proceedings. And yeah, so you know, this was directed by New Arnold. Apparently, in one of the interviews with Van Damme, Sheldon Lettich, they talk about the fact that New Arnold had done him a solid by stepping in to finish a film that was, you know, really struggling with, and they said, "Thanks, New. You know, you've done great. Thank you so much. We're going to give you a film to do just for you." And they give him Bloodsport to do. And yeah, I mean, it's great. I don't really know New Arnold. To be honest, before even doing this video, I didn't know of New Arnold. When I was a young man, I wasn't interested in who directed what. I was, some films, yeah, but I had no idea who had directed Bloodsport. And as well, it's got to be said, this film had a cracking soundtrack. Just, you know, Rocky-esque soundtrack, and that was just great. So if you can pick up the soundtrack, it was released as a soundtrack, and there's a special feature about the music. So check that out. This film has got a special place in all of our hearts as the kind of quintessential tournament type martial arts film. And you know, a lot of people say it's and has an influence on MMA and UFC, and yeah, you could say that, you know. But really, when you look at some of the fighters do look like they've just been pulled in off the street and say, "Here you go, there's a gi. All right, just start throwing some punches." You know, they really do look shabby as hell. There's the guy with the grey leggings, or grey unitard or whatever, and you got the guy who looks like a homeless guy that he's wearing like a gi that at one point was white but is now a kind of dirty grey. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know, man. It just works. It just works. You know, you could critique some of the fights and say, "Oh, this is a bit, you know, blah 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 blah." Man, I'll say it again. It's just a nostalgia trip. It's charming. And it's got some really nice little bits. I mean, Van Damme's timing in this, with the way he moves, and there is a little bit of that kind of Hong Kong influence coming through with the sound effects, and the way that the when he kicks is a pop 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 pop. You know, it's not a typically Western martial arts film. So although some of the fight scenes are a little bit lacking, it's still great to watch. But you know, this is a great release. I paid a bit too much for this, I'll be honest, but I don't mind a double dip if there's an English version. Well, I mean, obviously they've got English language on the Blu-ray and 4K, but you know, just for the booklet and things like that, and for the extras like the interviews and that, they've got they've only got German subtitles. So you know, sometimes when you're watching something, you know, you want to have it in English, just because sometimes, you know, with accents or, you know, people not saying things absolutely clearly, you know, you kind of mishear things and you want to make sure you heard what they said. I haven't yet checked out the 4K Ultra HD disc. The Blu-ray was, I mean, it was really good. Certain scenes where I don't know, actually, I didn't really notice until I put my old one on. And then obviously, yeah, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that is a step up. But yeah, I mean, the picture is crisp. It's, you know, I mean, it's just perfect. It's perfect release. And I wouldn't be surprised if 88 Films or Eureka pick this up. So, but yeah, go out and get it. It's great. I love it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to get this. So I got it, and it's beautiful. It's mine. It's mine or mine. Yeah. So yeah, I'll give this release easily 4 out of 5.
Son of the bitch! Is that good enough, guys?
And that's even with the German bits. It's not their fault that I'm not German or that I can't speak German. But yeah, go out and get this. So, all right, we'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye.